Greetings to all of our fearfully and wonderfully made educators out there. I am Dr. Jerry Potts with Catalyst Sator Educational Solutions. Today's teaching tidbit goes along with math, how to make interactive problem of the days as well as pictures to equations. And I know that for us in our county, we're going back to school face to face, and we also have some students who are still in virtual learning. So some ideas that I'm going to try out is using my face-to-face students as moderators for breakout rooms. Before, we were not allowed to have breakout rooms because of the lack of supervision if teachers can't be in more than one chat at the same time. So this way, if I have a face-to-face student who is in my physical classroom, I can monitor what their group is doing on their screen as they are in their breakout room. As well, we're still doing our virtual word walls, so our students who are online can add to our virtual slide deck, and the students who are in my physical room have the materials to create print version of our anchor charts that will go on the 4 walls of our room, because anywhere I want my computer, if I don't want to be stuck to one area. So those are things that I'm going to try out, having my in-class student be a moderator for a breakout room, have my in-class student as the one that's in charge of creating the print anchor charts for their groups, while the others work on their digital slide decks for our word walls and other concepts that we're working on only, and continuing to use those engagement pieces like the text messages that we did on an earlier video, Bitmoji classrooms, and just having that area and tools interactively online as well as in class that our students can engage in meaningful conversations with. So hopefully these tips help of how I'm going to set up my room and use the different types of students that are in my room, as well as the interactives to do for math.
A virtual drag and drop for students' everyday use. And as you can see, the first thing that I did was I put my backdrop in there so that students cannot move anything in that background. And what I'm going to do is call it number of the day. Essentially, all I have to do here is my template, insert, image. I'm going to upload from my computer because I already have them saved. So I'll have my hundreds block, and I'm going to copy, paste, 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 paste. And I can move them off to the side anywhere that I want them to be. And I'm just going to place them on top of each other so it looks like just one object that the students will be dragging and dropping. And there may be a more simple way to do it, but this is the way that I have figured it out. So this is the way that I do it at this point in time. Insert another image, upload from computer. This time I want my tens. Insert, same thing I did before, copy, paste, 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 paste. I don't know how many times that was. And I'll bring it over here. And I like to keep them off of the screen so that students know to manipulate them. And I'll have one for each day. So in my whole group lesson, or even if I'm going over this in small group because students are still having an issue with it, they can move it any way that they see fit to show the answer that I'm looking for. So I'm going to insert image, and now I want to do ones. Put it in the wrong spot. Ones. And copy, paste, 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 paste. And with the one, sometimes I like to put at least 20, just in case I have them decomposing a number from from the 10 spot. So for example, if it's 24 and we're decomposing so that they can tell me how many tens are in 24, and they'll say 2. But if I decompose the 20 into ones, how many ones is that? So they can see that they'll need 20 ones, but only 2 tens in order to show me. And then I just insert text, drag the objects to show, and I keep it that way. So I can copy, which is Control C, Control V, Control Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I'll do one for each day, and each day I just change the number. So this is 256, 354, 253. Let me move myself out the way. 253, 111, or favorite 3-digit number that is greater than 100 but less than 350. So that way they can choose their own number, and then they just show me what their number is. So if I have them show what's greater than 100 but less than 350, they create their number like this. And then the first thing I ask the students is, okay, if this is the number that they built, does it follow the parameters? Is it greater than 100? Yes or no? Yes. Is it less than 350? Yes. How do you know? Because it's 232. And then they will explain how they can decompose or compose to make 232. And I'll have different students share out, especially those who are having problems building numbers and realizing the value of each digit, just to make sure we had a clear understanding. Microsoft Whiteboard as a discussion basis for upper elementary school math students. So we're working on writing expressions as well as order of operations. Why I like Microsoft Whiteboard is sometimes we have a little bit of difficulty with Jamboard with some of our students. So Whiteboard is already built into their Chromebooks as well as my teacher laptop. So there's no way that we have to download another extension and then have something go wrong with it. Options in the whiteboard is the different color pens, highlighters, erasers, a way to crop out, go back, and redo. You can add text. That's how I wrote those, the directions. I can add a sticky note. It to use gems. So gems is just another way of doing order of operations, grouping symbols, exponents, multiplicative comparisons, and then subtraction and addition. So I just want to make that note go away. I can go in and add from my camera, add from an image or a library image. So if I want to use my snipping tool and cut a piece of text, cut a problem, I can embed it just like I did this one. And the same thing, a note, list, preview. I can add a sticker, PDF, Word document, or even a slide from a PowerPoint. Sometimes I use this with Nearpod so we can have further discussions on things that they did not do well. So with this particular one, I would show them a lot of different shapes, and they have to use these shapes and think abstractly to write equations. So if they had issues looking at it in that sense, I might just draw a circle and say, what do you see here? Don't count each block, but what equation could you have? So they would tell me that they see 2, and there are 3 sets of them. Then I'll tell them to write 2 more equations. So if the top is 2 times 3, I know that the bottom is 2 times 3, and 1, 2, and so are the sides. 2 times 3, 2 times 3, and then what we're missing is this box right here, which is 1 times 3. So I would have them make a order of operations question and explain it. So they can move it over. I remember that I had four sets of 2 times 3 and one set of 1 times 3. So my equation is, and I make them write all of this stuff out because I want them to be as precise and thorough as possible. And it's my way of keeping tabs of whether they understand or not. So when I look at their reasoning, how they're writing out their explanation and reasoning, I have a clear understanding of whether or not they understand. And then I could go into a number talks. Are we following our computations correctly? And even in looking at this, one person might see 2 times 3, and I would do another color just like I do for number talks. And someone else might say, well, I see this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 3. And then I saw this as 2 times 3 and 2 times 3. So then their equation, this is 3, their equation would be 5 times 3 plus 2 times 3. So then we would discuss whether or not that was correct. Is 5 times 3 plus 2 times 2 times 3 the same as this equation here? And I can have them side by side, change the ink color. So this one was 2 times 3 plus 5 times 3. And I would just move it over and see if the answer is the same. 624 plus 3 is 27. Oops, this one. So 2 times 3, 2 times 6, 12 plus 15 equals 27. So even though we had two separate equations for this one problem, it still equals 27. And that gives our students a chance to use precision, also persevere. I can mix in number talks and my current standard. So hopefully Whiteboard Microsoft is something that you can use. Using pictures in this way is something you can use for PEMDAS or writing expressions or even expanding what type of problems students see.
Hopefully those math tips helped with the lower grade students, and you're building numbers based on blocks. Remember to stack those blocks on top of each other so that they can move them. You can use this space outside of the Google Slides, and you can even use it as creating an interactive worksheet. So it's not just limited for math, but you can also do the same thing when it comes to filling in the blank spaces for science or social studies, maps, or even diagrams. They can move those words around just like we moved those math pieces around. And then for upper grades, the idea of using one picture and having them kind of see those pictures as bits and pieces. So instead of seeing it all as 27, how many fact families or how many equations can we make using the order of operations to solve that problem? So hopefully all of these tips helped face-to-face versus our virtual students and our interactive math tidbits. You go out there and you be great.